All right, well, welcome everyone to the Power Apps Reimagine the Human Agent Collaboration session. My name is Evan Liu. With me is Mitzi and Claudio. We're thrilled today to show you how apps and agents are transforming productivity and can help empower you to be an agent boss. And so we want to show you the very latest and greatest work from the team. So we have a bunch of live AI demos with pre-production bits that we've never shown anyone before. So we're definitely going to live on the edge this afternoon. All right, so it's day 3 of the conference. I'm sure you've all heard nonstop our vision for every information worker having a Copilot assistant and a team of digital workers or AI agents that are automating work on their behalf. And we believe this will happen at scale with everyone in the organization collaborating with a team of agents. In fact, IDC estimates more than 1 billion agents in the next 3 years. People like Bill Gates have gone on to say that agents will upend the software industry and become the biggest revolution in computing. Others claim that if generative AI is the new operating system, agents are the new apps. And so that really begs the question here. If agents are the new apps, are business apps still relevant? Do you still need your CRM apps and your finance apps and your HR apps and your ERP apps when humans have teams of agents that are automating work on their behalf? And why are you here at a session about Power Apps? So today, I'd like to make the case that in an agent-first world, apps are in fact more essential than ever. But not the apps that we know today, a new generation of apps that are engineered for this agentic world. And why do we believe this? Well, we believe that this is because apps will shift from the place that you do work to the place that you oversee work. From dozens of customer interviews that we've done, customers have told us that in order for them to adopt AI agents, they need a way to oversee them, to provide human-in-the-loop approval. And they specifically expect their business users who deeply understand the workflows and the processes to monitor this agent's activity. And the best place for these business users who supervise the work of agents is really in these business apps because they're already connected to their operational systems. They can write back to these sources and they have the proper security access. But look, none of this is going to happen overnight. You have to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. And so at Microsoft, we talk about these 3 different levels of AI transformation. With level 1, every person has a general purpose Copilot assisting them in the flow of work. With level 2, you have more than an assistant. You have a team of specialized app agents that you can deploy for different types of problems. And then at level 3, you can set the direction and let the agents autonomously solve problems for you. These agents won't do things perfectly, so you still need to supervise and oversee them. And this is very much the journey that we've been on the Power Apps team. And so we started with level 1 AI capabilities. Last Ignite, we showed you how you can collaborate with Copilot via natural language chat directly in a model-driven app. You can ask questions about the app data or add custom knowledge and topics. And we've made some huge strides in this area that Claudio will show you in just a bit. We then moved to level 2 AI. We wanted to go beyond chat on the side of your app. And we introduce inline interactions in the app's grids and forms. And so, for example, you have the data exploration agent where you can search and filter and visualize data in your app with natural language directly from the grid view. We also introduced the data entry agent that lets you fill forms faster with AI suggestions. And you can basically take unstructured text from an email or document and simply paste it into your form, and the data entry agent does the rest. And based on your feedback, we've made a bunch of improvements that Mitzi will show you a little later today. We also added a summary agent that lets you see at a glance what's most important in the record with a fully customizable prompt. Then we introduced level 3 AI capabilities about 6 months ago when we introduced the agent feed, a new interface where agents can hand off control to users and direct them to the most important tasks. And this agent feed is a single place to oversee the agents that are doing work on your behalf and provide this human-in-the-loop oversight. And again, we'll do a demo of that shortly. So this will be the structure for our session today. We're going to talk through level 1, level 2, level 3 AI capabilities. and we'll share this through the lens of State Farm. They're the largest property, casualty, and auto insurance provider in the country. State Farm serves 87 million policies across all 50 states, and they are using the Power Platform, apps and agents to transform their business. They have over 1,300 active makers in the organization and nearly 1,000 agents that are doing things like automatically triaging shared inboxes or translating claims letters and more. And so we're going to start first with level 1 AI transformation with Copilot as your general purpose assistant. And to show us the latest innovation, I'd like to invite Claudio to the stage to show this in action.
All right, hello everyone. Super excited to be here. I am going to show you how I went from being overwhelmed to being super empowered by using Copilot. My job as a claims manager, I need to find some insights on my data. Not only I need to find the insights, I also got to figure out what to do with it. As you can see here, this could be very daunting and an overwhelming experience. But I'm going to walk you through what my app looks like, and you can see there is a lot of information. So we'll just zoom in a little bit, and you could see we have all the claims here, we have all this information, we have all this data. Where do I even start looking for insights? Good news, I also have my Copilot here. And this Copilot is the same one that I'm used to in Outlook, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. It also comes with something I'm used to, which is researcher, analyst, and designer. I could use it now in the context of my app. So this is a very transformative part and makes me very powerful. So let's jump into it. I need to find some insights, and I'm just going to use the Copilot to help me find that. So first thing I'm asking is, it seems like there is a trend. I have a hunch there's a spike in my data. And we want to see, is this real? Can you help me find it? And can we compare year over year? So while Copilot is searching, it is really interesting to think about, it's looking at my business data and all of my files in the context of Office. So good news, we got our response back. And what Copilot is telling me is, yes, there is a relative higher than usual spike. This is really good. It helped me compare and find the trend, and so I confirmed it. Just think about how much would it take me to get there without this tool. So now that I see that this is a good step, I want to have a chart. Can I create a chart so I could share with my team and it's easier to visualize? So I'm going to ask Copilot the same way that we're used to. I'll just zoom in so we could see it. So here's the question we're asking. Generate a chart comparing these rates. Can we do it by region? And one of my favorite features is, I'm going to expand here a little. You could see that it went on and created some code. This code didn't exist. It did it on the fly for what I needed. And then beyond the code, it gave me the chart that I really was looking for. This chart is interactive, and I could start to see where those trends are showing. Still kind of hard to read, but Copilot is there with me, and it's giving me those insights itself. This is great, and I think now I went from a lot of data to being able to share with my team. Can I do that with a PowerPoint? So I'm going to use Copilot in the same way and ask, can we create a PowerPoint? Also help me with some speaker notes, and let's add any key findings that you have. So here you can see that it's proposing a structure for my PowerPoint, and it's helping me tell that story to my team. It's only been a couple minutes, and I already have a storyline that I could share with my group. You also see that it's talking about speaker notes. It's even mentioning the bar chart that we talked about. So this is really good stuff. I don't believe, so we'll have to do a step, but I will show you one that was already created. And this is a sample PowerPoint that we have created. Very, very important here, if you look at the Copilot chat, it kept track of my conversation. So it doesn't matter where I move to, that context is maintained, and this is very powerful. I think we're doing pretty good, but I think I could take a step further. So this is good info, but then what do we do with it? What steps can we take? And for that, I'm going to enroll my friend researcher, and I'm going to say, can we have a summary of these? Let's look at best practices across the industry. And is there any info about strategic updates in my company? Let's make sure we're aligned. So here, researcher is going to go look for that information, help me get more data. So it's not only mine, it's also looking at industry best practices, and it's going to come back with a really nice report that is detailed that I could now use. So I'll just show that report here quickly, and you can see that information has been populated. And I want to emphasize, I went from having just raw data to having a PowerPoint that I could work with my team, and also a detailed report that I could share. This took me from being overwhelmed to being empowered and able to take the next steps. So back to you, Evan.
Great. Awesome. Thank you, Claudio. All right, so you just saw the power of Microsoft 365 Copilot now in Power Apps. And you can use Copilot and agents like researcher and analyst to reason over the data in your app and pull in context from your M365 documents and emails to help you make smarter decisions. So we looked at level 1. We're going to shift now to talk about level 2. These are the specialist agents, the app agents that are at work to help you get work done in the flow, in the journey of your apps. And for that, I wanted to invite Mitzi on stage to do a demo of one of the specialist agents.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the data entry agent, which is a specialist agent inside your model-driven apps that helps you fill your forms faster. So let's put this in context of what State Farm does every single day. Imagine an auto accident happened, and the person who's insured goes and gets their damages assessed. There's an estimate report that's created from that. It can come in a variety of forms: Excel, PDF, sometimes just an email from the garage or the auto shop that you took your car to. Someone at State Farm receives all of these estimates, needs to come into an app and fill out this form. This is a lot of fields to have to manually fill in and have to have maybe a second monitor or split the screen and see the source document. That takes up a lot of time and it's really tedious and frustrating. Enter Data Entry Agent. So today I'm going to show you 2 features of Data Entry Agent. First up, I'm going to tell you how Data Entry Agent understands all my Microsoft 365 data. So here we have, the OneDrive files, Teams chats, Outlook emails. Data Entry Agent understands all of these and can use it as context for filling this form in. Today, we're going to use this PDF. That's the 𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗏 auto repair shop sent over a claims estimate for a person named Gabriel Diaz. While Data Entry Agent goes through this PDF and fills out this form, let me show you what it looks like. This is a pretty rich PDF, lots of different formats. It's got a nice logo at the top, color, it's got customer information, vehicle information, estimates right here, and a paragraph of information on what this accident was. And so I'll come back here, and in the time it took me to show you that PDF, Data Entry Agent was done, right? If I was doing this manually, I would just get started trying to understand what the info was, and now I would be getting started with my first field. But all of my information is now in. Remember I told you about that paragraph of information right in that PDF? Data Entry Agent was smart enough to come in here and say, that looks like a summary. It seems like you don't want an entire paragraph of information. So it synthesized the insights from that PDF and updated this field right here. So that's feature number 1 that I wanted to show you. Feature number 2. I'm looking at estimate ID, claim number, and policy number up here in the top left of the form. None of these require the prefixes. The EST, SF, POL, they don't need to exist. Now, I could come in here and manually edit every single one of these fields, but instead what I'm going to do is I'll come in here to Data Entry Agent and ask it to learn from my teaching one time and apply it to all future forms. So basically what I've done here is I've opened up teaching mode and I've selected the same Gabriel Diaz PDF that we saw earlier, right? So I'm going to have the Data Entry Agent take the first stab again at filling out the form, and then I'll go ahead and correct it. And so while it's doing this, actually, look at that. I don't even need to filibuster. So it filled out the form just the way I wanted it to, and I'm going to go ahead and make the corrections I was asking about. So I'm removing all the prefixes, so it only has the numeric values inside these first 3 fields. The rest of these suggestions look great to me, so I'll go ahead and save this teaching example. Instantly, data entry agent says, I have learned what you gave me. Now, to prove to you that this works, I'm not going to pick the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗻𝗲𝗀 file. I'm going to pick a different file that has the same information for filling that form out. So while data entry agent loads that, here's the other PDF. It looks very different from the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗻𝗀𝗀 file that we used earlier. Java Auto Repair, Acme Service Center, looks very different in its formatting. And right in here, looks like it didn't take, so we're gonna oh, I see what's happening. I've been uploading and re-uploading my 𝗦𝗲𝗻𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 files, so I'm gonna go ahead and search for the latest one. And this is the same context IQ picker that you see in your Microsoft 365 Copilot chat. It's the same context that data entry agent is using. And so at this point, what it's doing is it's going to go look for that 𝗦𝗲𝗻𝗀 file. It's going to synthesize all of its predictions, and it's going to look at that teaching example that I just gave it and see how to predict this form. So if the demo gods are good to me today, we will see right here the estimate ID, claim number, and policy number no longer have those prefixes. And just to make sure you believe me, I'm not hand-waving over this, all of these values in the original file do indeed have the prefixes. So we successfully taught the data entry agent how I want to fill this form. With that, back to you, Evan.
Thank you, Mitzi. So in addition to the data entry agent, we also have a few other app agents that are available in all model-driven apps. This includes the data exploration agent and the summary agent. We're excited to bring all three of these agents to general availability by the end of the year. So we've talked a bit about level 1, level 2. We're going to shift gears and spend the bulk of the time here on level 3. Autonomous agents. And so the level 2 agent that you saw Mitzi demo earlier saved her a ton of time filling that form out. But this can get very tedious quite quickly if you have hundreds or thousands of these that you have to do every single day. And this is a challenge that State Farm knows very well. They have a shared inbox for claims estimates. If someone gets in a car accident and brings their car into the shop to get a repair estimate, the shop sends a copy of that to State Farm in the shared email inbox. And State Farm gets thousands of these emails a day, and the format from each of these auto repair shops is different. And so today, someone needs to manually triage these emails and retype them into another system. I'm actually curious, how many of you have a workflow in your organization involving shared email inboxes? Okay, quite a lot of you, quite a lot of you. Now, what if the data entry agent could run autonomously every time an email arrives? So I'm really excited to announce the brand new Power Apps MCP Server that can do exactly that and more. It can equip your agent with app skills like autonomous form filling and automate repetitive tasks that you do in apps. So we're starting with the data entry tool, but we'll be rolling out more tools over time like data exploration and data visualization. And these are level 2 AI skills like the data entry agent that we've developed in Power Apps and tuned and tested and optimized with hundreds of thousands of users and are now making available to level 3 agents to run autonomously. And so I want to invite Mitzi back to the stage to show you how State Farm is using the Power Apps MCP Server to automate their claims estimate intake process with AI agents. And so for this demo, Mitzi is going to play the role of the agent maker, and I will be the business user who's consuming the agents that she builds. So Mitzi.
Thank you, Evan. I'm excited to show you this estimate processor agent that I built based on Evan's request for the State Farm team. What this agent does is it goes to the shared mailbox, and every time a new email arrives with a new claims estimate, it takes that information, parses it, fills out Dataverse, automatically creates that record so that, you know, the previous demo that I showed you was a user having to manually open up a form, manually point it to context, manually find the email and the file and fill out that record. Now, this agent can do all of that automatically. So this is, you know, really exciting because I had a really fun time building this agent. As a maker, I get dozens and hundreds of requests from Evan and his team to build out agents for this, agents for that. And so this agent right here that I'm going to show you had only 3 steps to set it up. Only 3. Let's go through them. So step 0, because this is not really a setup step. This is for my sanity as I track all the agents in my organization, gave it a nice descriptive name and a description on what it does, which is exactly what I said, automating the intake of claims estimates and extracting this information from the emails and their attachments and creating these records in Dataverse. Now, step number 1 that I did was setting up the trigger when a new email arrives in the shared mailbox, right here. Step number 2, I gave it some instructions on how to think through the email. So basically, the instructions I'm giving it are process these claims that arrived in the mailbox and store it into the Dataverse table with this logical name. If you're wondering why is it a logical name, this is a hot-off-the-press demo. We're going to refine this. You don't need to type in your logical names, but this is how you know it's real, completely just coming off the latest bits. So these are the instructions for what the agent should do, which was the second step I promised you. And the third is adding our MCP server, the Power Apps MCP server that Evan just announced. Let's take a closer look at what this MCP server looks like. All I had to do was add it and enable the appropriate tools that I needed. Now, there are several in this MCP server. The only one that I chose to enable is the invoke data entry. This is the same agent. It's the same brains that we saw in the previous demo with model-driven apps. And the wonderful thing about that, why is that important? Why should you care about that? That agent in model-driven apps has been in production for 18 months. We've been continuously improving it, refining it based on your feedback. So this is a battle-tested agent. This is not just a brand new agent coming in and saying, believe me, trust me as I fill your forms. You can go try it out today in your model-driven apps, and very soon as the MCP server code lands in your environments. And that's all it took. And so I'm looking at this overview. I did my 3-step process to set up this estimate processor, and I go over into activity, and it looks like it is running. Lots of emails have come in, and it's gone ahead and created lots of different records for me. So looks like my job's about to be done. And let me just give you a quick sneak peek of the mailbox that I set this up with. So this has, a few different emails. Let me show you what they look like. So I have this email here from Claudio who says there's this estimate. Again, it's the 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗲𝗏 PDF, so it should look really familiar to you. Here's an email from Fabian, and there are 2 attachments in this email, right? There's one for a Casey Jensen, and then there's another one for Remy Morris. We've seen this PDF before. And there's another email from myself, because it is a demo environment. And here's a Contoso Garage PDF. Now, every single one of these PDFs has a different format and a different way of expressing its information, but I am confident that this agent will handle them all. So you know what? Let's call it a day, and I am now going to go get some lunch, Evan. I'm done. There you go. There's your agent.
You're going to get lunch now? Well, I wonder if I should just trust Mitzi and assume that the agents are running as they should. The problem is agents aren't perfect, right? They're going to make mistakes. They're going to get stuck at times. You need to supervise and assist them. So I don't know if I'm going to take her word for it, but let's actually look at the app to verify that indeed the records were created. So here I am in my model-driven app, and I'm just going to look for 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏. There we go. So indeed, that email did get processed by the agent autonomously. So there's no person that had to trigger the agent. As soon as the email hit the inbox, the agent ran. It then extracted the relevant information and inserted that into the table here. But the other emails I don't see in the list here. And so thankfully, I do have the all-new agent feed in my app. And this agent feed is one place for me to supervise all of the agents that are doing work on my behalf. And so I can see here, I've got a letter translator agent, a claims insights agent, a fraud detector agent, all working on my behalf and doing work to help me be more efficient. On the right-hand side here, I can see the metrics and the performance of those agents. So they've completed 972 tasks, 77% were completed autonomously by the agent. I can see day-by-day performance for each of these agents. And then in the middle here, these are tasks that the agent has escalated to me for review, for approval, for intervention and assistance. Now, most of the time, these agents are running autonomously and doing a great job on their own. And so this completed view lets me audit and spot check to make sure these agents are doing the right thing. So this is actually the record that in Mitzi's first email. So if I click into that, you can see this 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗶𝗁 for Gabriel Diaz. And what comes back when I click on that task, the data entry tool is returning a very specific UX, right? This side-by-side view that makes it easy for me to verify that the attachment content matches what the agent inserted into the table on the right-hand side. And we basically call this a human-in-the-loop canvas. It's an interface for users to engage with and assist with whatever the agent needs help with. And so in this case, it's the attachment on the left and the form on the right. So that's the first email that Mitzi showed, but we still have two more that we have to figure out what happened to. And it turns out that those records were not added to the table because they're pending some kind of user approval. So you can see here, this one here is 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, and this is the second email that Mitzi showed you. This came from Contoso Garage. And I can see the steps that the agent took. I can see that it collected information about the table, it parsed the email, it scanned the attachment, it extracted values for 15 columns, and then it basically got stuck on this last step. It needs some human review before it can continue. So what it's done is basically handed control back to me by creating a task in the agent feed. And this is the same UX that you saw earlier, this side-by-side view where I can see the attachment from the email on the left and I can see the fields on the right. And you know, at a quick glance, it looks pretty good to me, but this tax rate should really be 10.2%, and the agent missed that. And so I'm going to just update that manually here for it. I'm going to hit accept and complete. And now I'm handing control back to the agent to complete that task. Now there's that third email. Okay, so you know it's live demo here. We'll move to the other email that Mitzi showed you. And this actually created two separate tasks in the agent feed because there were two different attachments, right? And so you can see one here for Acme. The second one is also for Acme. And I can do the same thing. I can basically review to make sure that the agent's activity was accurate and accept and hand the control back to the agent. Now, agents can basically use the Power Apps MCP server to hand off control to humans for human loop review for any type of scenario, not just for data entry. And so let's find a scenario here. I've got an agent that identified a large spike in claims in Portland. And this claims insights agent is basically flagged this for my attention. And it's directed me to this specific view in my app. And so it's taking me to the large claims view in the app. And this is one of the benefits of having the agent feed inside of the app because it can navigate you to the best place in the app to take action. And so here, let me actually drill down to look at claims in Portland. So here, the data exploration agent is going to parse my natural language query. It's going to establish the filter criteria to narrow down the grid to claims in Portland. And so you can see here, indeed, there are a bunch of fairly large claims, and I'm able to now investigate to see what's going on. Now, I'm going to show you one more task in the feed. And this one is from the letter translator agent. And so this agent basically takes an English claims letter and translates it into Spanish. But it's very important at State Farm for an employee to review these to make sure that the formatting and the content is accurate. And so I'm going to interrupt Mitzi's lunch, invite her back on stage to show you how this agent was constructed and how it's using the Power Apps MCP server to hand control back to the user. Mitzi?
Absolutely, Evan. I will get back to eating in just a second, but let me show you how I set up the letter translator agent. Again, it's a three-step process. The three steps here look a little different. So again, the trigger was similar to what I did with the estimate processor. It's the instructions that look a little bit different. So here in these instructions, basically what I'm saying is, hey, agent, go ahead and use this MCP tool. Go ahead and use another tool for translating the English PDF that arrived for the translations team. Next up, I'm telling it, OK, once you've gone ahead and translated the document, here's how I want you to take the translation and put that into this canvas that Evan described so that the user can review it to make sure that it has the right fidelity and it has the right accuracy so it looks good before the translations team ships it. And then last up, we have here the step number 4. So I'm saying go ahead and use the request assistance tool to flag this task for user review. So in the previous agent, I used the invoke data entry tool. Here I'm using the request assistance tool. And what that looks like in action, there was the task that Evan showed you in the feed. This is the behind the scenes for that task, right? The email came in, it triggered this agent. The agent went ahead and did translation, right? So now we have the Spanish version, it's in a draft state. And then as soon as it got to the draft state, based on our instructions to this agent, it went ahead and utilized this request assistance tool to flag it for Evan's review before State Farm ships this letter. And so here we can see right at the bottom, it's still in progress because Evan still needs to approve this. So I'll hand it back to him to go ahead and see what that looks like.
Great. Thank you, Mitzi. All right. So the agent is now waiting for my approval and review. And so you can see here, this is the UX that the agent returned to me. It's different than the other one that you saw, right? This is a custom UX that State Farm has built for this specific agent. And so on the left-hand side, you can see the English claims letter. And on the right-hand side, you can see the translation in Spanish. And I've got a bunch of formatting tools here to make sure that the formatting is correct. And I'm just going to make a couple edits here. I'm going to add some spacing. I'm going to center this. And I'm going to go ahead and hit approve and hand control back to the agent. So you can see with the Power Apps MCP server and the agent feed, we're able to navigate these agent-to-human handoffs in different scenarios. Great, so let's switch back to the deck. And I want to do a quick recap before we get to our final demo here. And so what you saw with the Power Apps MCP server in the agent feed was agents returning different types of user experiences with the Power Apps MCP. And so you saw on the left-hand side that what we call our diff view. And so with the data entry tool, it's returning that input, output, left and right kind of view. In the middle there, you see app navigation. So the MCP server is able to help navigate you to a specific place in the app. And then coming very soon is ability to create your own custom UX for those agents. So to recap here, the Power Apps MCP server, which will be in public preview just next month, equips your agent with AI app skills like autonomous form filling to automate these repetitive tasks inside of apps. And then secondly, it allows you to supervise this agent activity by enabling your agent to hand off control to users for that human-in-the-loop review. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you about here is one more benefit I wanted to highlight. You can now engage with these app skills beyond the app through Copilot. And so, for example, from 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗶cie Copilot, I can invoke an agent that uses, say, the data entry skill to fill out a form just by asking Copilot. There's no need to find the app, to launch it, and retype the details. So let me show you that in action here. And so this is the same agent that Miti showed you. And what I'm going to do here is show you how we've added or enabled this agent inside of Microsoft 365 Copilot. So there's a little checkbox here that says Make Agent Available in Microsoft 365 Copilot. We've gone ahead to check that off. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗶cie Copilot. And I had a meeting with the 𝗦𝗲𝗀 Auto Repair folks just yesterday. So I'm going to ask Copilot, can you summarize the 𝗦𝗲𝗀 meeting yesterday using the transcript. And so here, Copilot's just going to do its work to summarize that meeting. Here are the claims details from the meeting that we had. And so here, the moment of truth, we're going to create a claims estimate using this information. And I'm going to mention that same agent, the estimate processor agent. And so what we're doing here is we're getting Copilot to invoke that agent that will then call our MCP server. So we're going to hit go on this, and we'll see how Copilot does. And if it's successful, what it'll do is it'll basically insert that claims estimate information into the Dataverse table, and there it did. So it added the details to the table. Here's the claim number. And so there's no need for me to jump to the app to find the right place to add that information. I was able to engage with those app skills directly from Copilot. All right, so let's jump back to the deck here as we wrap up. So as we wrap up the session, my hope is all of you feel equipped with the knowledge and the skills to go put agents to work with your apps, from level 1 Copilot to level 2 specialist agents to level 3 autonomous agents. And if you're interested in joining the early access preview, we've got a QR code here up on the screen for you. We'd love for you to be among the first to try this functionality out. We're really excited for the Power Apps MCP server and the new agent feed here as well. So with that, we'll stick around for any questions, but thank you very much for your time.